Richard Tice, thanks so much for being with us. Has this turned into a bit of a farce? Because if the other parties stand aside, which it looks like Labour, the Conservatives, the Lib Dems are, is Farage still going to stand? Is this what the Lib Dems are calling a vanity project?
Chickens. These other parties, they've been hounding us. They've been saying that Nigel is guilty and that this may lead to a by-election. Nigel's had enough of it and has said, bring it on. He's bringing it on. And all of a sudden, they're now running for the hills. You can't see them for dust because they all of a sudden realised he's outsmarted and outsussed them once again. And they know that he'll win hands down with a bigger majority.
But if there's going to be a by-election, why do we need two by-elections?
Well, ask them, don't ask us. Stand in the first one. Stop being so ridiculous. Bring the standards inquiry forward. Otherwise, what they were deliberately going to do was to hang it out for 6 to 12 months so that all you good folk in the media could say, oh, there's a standards inquiry overhanging Nigel, oh, he's a naughty boy. He's saying, we're not going to play the establishment and the media
but don't you think the rules are there for a reason? Yeah, do you think it's right that the Standards Commissioner is looking into this in the first place?
It's not right for a Standards Commissioner to take 6 to 12 months over these sorts of inquiries. There are other inquiries where he's taken just as long, and that is unacceptable. And Nigel's saying, if you're so concerned, let's take it to the people. Let's take it to the good folk of Clacton. They're the people. And by the way, we've offered to meet the cost of it. All of a sudden, they're whinging about the cost of it. And then all of a sudden, we say to pay for, oh, no, you can't do that, no.
On the cost of it, do you think it is democratic to pay for a by-election that you're taking part in?
They complain if it's costing money. So we say, don't worry about that, we'll cover that. And then they complain again. I mean, these are like squabbling children in a playground. It's unbelievable. And the hypocrisy of these people triggering an unnecessary by-election. The name's Burnham, Andy Burnham, Makerfield. Does that ring a bell?
Well, you criticise that, and now you're saying that this is okay.
You can't have it both ways, right?
You're having it both ways.
We're consistent with it. We said, if you want a by-election in Makerfield, have a by-election. We stood for it, and we lost, fine. But the point is here that they've basically been sussed, and they don't like it. That's the reality of what's going on here. And it's the good people of Clacton who should have the democratic decision. These people don't seem to like democracy. Andy Burnham's not calling a general election. We're saying, bring it on, let's have a by-election, let's win it, and then we can all move on.
So just to be completely clear, do you think these rules exist for a reason? Do you think it's right
and we're absolutely clear
that the Parliamentary Commission on Standards is looking into Nigel Farage?
Of course.
And why don't you just let the process run its course and then have the by-election potentially?
We're confident that Nigel hasn't broken any rules.
Well, then you won't even be a by-election. Why do you wait for them to decide that?
Because, frankly, the establishment are out to kill us electorally. We know that. I mean, your own good organisation has been caught lying, hounding Nigel's daughter, which is a breach of the code of Leveson, which they've basically... I think Sky have given a semi-apology. You might like to confirm that.
Well, do you want me to read our statement? Nigel Farage has legitimate questions to answer about the gift he accepted from Mr Cotterill. Given the clear public interest in this matter, Sky News has been seeking a response from Mr Farage and has made reasonable efforts to contact him. We acknowledge that Sky News was part of a broadcast pool operation outside a property linked to Mr Farage yesterday. We approached the property off camera on a single occasion, identified ourselves, and the occupant chose not to engage. So that's a statement.
That's your statement, but originally Sky said we didn't approach any property. Sky knew they were not approaching Nigel's property. They knew they were approaching his daughter's property. That is a breach of the spirit of Leveson. It's a breach of everything.
Let's be clear, we did not approach his daughter.
You approached the house with a camera, with a microphone, and if his daughter had answered it, questions would have been asked of.
OK. Well, I think, this is bigger than that, isn't it? This is about whether there's going to be is there any point in a by-election if Nigel Farage is the only person standing?
This is about the hounding of Nigel, of reform. I'll go take us to the other point. The National Crime Agency have leaked my company bank statements, my private conversations with my bank manager to The Guardian, which we've exposed today. I mean, this is unbelievable. We're calling it out. We've had enough of this.
I guess
you've now got one of the most senior crime agency literally breaking its own laws, breaking the rules, criminal activity going on within the National Crime Agency. I'm waiting for the Director General to respond.
Do you accept that there's a degree of scrutiny that comes if you want to be the Prime Minister?
You think it's acceptable for the National Crime Agency to literally break the law in order to give my bank conversations and my bank statements? Well,
I'm just asking a separate question.
I'm just telling you, we've had enough. We're sick and tired of this abuse, of this breaking the law, of this permanent attempt by the establishment to do whatever is necessary, regardless of the rules. You talk about Nigel applying by the rules. What about the National Crime Agency applying by the rules?
Where is Nigel Farage, by the way? You know, does he not want to be interviewed by us?
He's literally just given a press conference. I'm being
It wasn't a
interviewed by...
press conference. We didn't get to ask any questions.
He's literally given a statement. The point is...
There were no journalists there. That doesn't count as a press conference.
You whinge in the first place when it's a one-man band. So Nigel, creates spokespeople, and then you whinge again. I mean, am I not good enough for you? Don't you like me? I mean, do I not fit the part? Am I ugly?
Is it a one-man band? You know, if Nigel Farage loses this by-election, will this party survive without him?
Look, Nigel is going nowhere. Nigel is going to win this by-election, and the establishment will be sussed, and we're calling it out. And the British people will realise what the establishment are trying to do to the leadership of reform. It's completely unacceptable.
OK. Jacob Rees-Mogg, who is not the first person to criticise Nigel Farage, yesterday told Cathy Newman that George Cotterill is a problem for Nigel Farage. You know, do you accept that he is a problem for Nigel Farage? George
Cotterill is a very good friend of Nigel Farage. He made a mistake 10 years ago. We are a Christian nation that believes actually in sinners can be redeemed.
We're forgiving a lot of people.
Well, we've got 2,600, 2,400 councillors. That is the reality. That's how you work in a Christian country. Otherwise, you're basically saying, oh, you've made one mistake, you're written off for life. Don't be daft. OK, and to be absolutely clear, if the other parties do not stand, Nigel Farage is going to do this alone. You know, his game isn't going to work, is it, if no one's Well, the irony is, apparently now we hear that the Lib Dems are going to try and stop the by-election from happening because they don't want to be exposed as cowards by not standing account. I mean, you literally can't make up the hypocrisy and the cowardice of all the other parties. They've been outsmarted and they don't like it. And if this by-election goes ahead, there's going to potentially be another by-election because the investigation could then happen again once he's an MP again. So is he going to stand again? Is he going to stand twice in two by-elections? Nigel will stand again, and if necessary, he will fight it and win it. But everybody will realise what a ridiculous waste of time. Well, don't you think people at home are going to be thinking it's a ridiculous waste of time? I think what the Standards Commissioner should do is get on, finish his inquiries, make his judgment, and everyone can have this by-election, stand, don't be a bunch of chickens, and then let's move on. OK, thank you so much, Richard Tice. Really appreciate your time. OK, well, as you just heard, Nigel Farage and Reform have made allegations about an interaction between a Sky News journalist at a property connected to Mr Farage yesterday. This afternoon, he released footage of the incident, which you can see here. And so you're clear what you're seeing here. This is footage which was posted on Nigel Farage's X account earlier. And it appears to be filmed off a screen. You can see the time and date, which shows it was filmed yesterday morning at 7:41 a.m. It's labelled driveway on the screen as well. And there are two parts to this footage. So this is the first part that you're looking at now. You can see the time at the top, 7:41. A car appears to be there. 7:41 in the morning, and then there is an edit at some point, a dip to black, and the time changes. There you go, and you can see 10:10 a.m. The light changes as well, and this second section lasts for 30 seconds. Well, we've since now had a clarification from Sky News. You can see the second clip here, the gentleman walking towards the house with a different timestamp that you can see in the top left corner. Well, as I say, we have since had a clarification from Sky News, which I'll read to you now. Sky News was not at the property at 7:41 a.m, as has already been acknowledged. And as shown in the footage from 10:19 a.m, Sky News was outside a property where Mr Farage was registered to vote at the last election. Sky News did not interact with Mr Farage's daughter. On a single occasion, we approached the property without a camera operator, identified ourselves as Sky News, and the adult occupant chose not to engage.
We were seeking to contact Mr. Farage to ask questions about the gift he accepted from Mr. Cottrell. This is a well-established and routine journalistic practice when reporting on matters of legitimate public interest. The footage clearly demonstrates that Sky News did not hound or pursue Mr. Farage's daughter. At no stage did we seek to speak to anyone other than Mr. Farage in connection with this story.